Charlie Kirk was one of the most outspoken conservative activists in America. For years, he was recognized as the face of Turning Point USA, the youth-focused conservative organization he built from scratch. At just 31 years old, Kirk stood at the peak of his influence, leading campus tours, shaping debates, and rallying thousands of young conservatives across the country. But in Utah, during what was supposed to be a routine campus event, his life was cut short in a shocking, tragic way. This is the story of how it happened, what witnesses saw, what investigators know so far, and how the nation is reacting to a moment many now call a political assassination. On September 10th, Charlie Kirk arrived at Utah Valley University in Orem, Utah. This stop was part of his new American Comeback Tour, a traveling series of debates and rallies. These events drew thousands of students, supporters, and critics alike. Reports say nearly 3,000 people gathered on campus that afternoon, filling the outdoor quad where a stage had been set up. The atmosphere was electric, more like a rally than a lecture. Cameras rolled, cheers echoed, and security kept watch. No one could have predicted the scene would turn into a national tragedy. Kirk began speaking around noon, doing what he often did best, engaging directly with the crowd. He took questions, challenged critics, and sparred on hot-button issues. At one point, while answering a question about mass shootings, the unthinkable happened. A single shot rang out. For a brief moment, confusion froze the crowd. Some thought it was a firecracker. Then chaos erupted. Witnesses say the sound came from behind the stage, from the direction of one of the tall campus buildings. Seconds later, people saw Kirk collapse. The bullet had struck his neck close to the artery. His security detail rushed to him immediately, pulling him from the stage. Panic spread as thousands scrambled for safety, fearing more shots were coming. Students screamed and scattered in every direction, some dropping to the ground, others running toward buildings, leaving behind personal belongings in the rush. Videos captured on phones show the stampede, the screams, the confusion, and the sheer terror as the crowd realized what had just happened. Emergency responders arrived within minutes. Kirk was rushed to Timpanogos Regional Hospital, but the wound was devastating. By late afternoon, doctors confirmed what so many feared: Charlie Kirk was dead. The young conservative firebrand who built his life on debate and activism was gone, killed in the very space he had spent years commanding. News spread instantly across social media and headlines. For his supporters, the loss felt surreal. For his critics, it was still deeply shocking. America had just lost one of its most visible political figures in the most violent way possible. Investigators quickly pieced together the details. They believed the shooter was stationed on the Lucy Center building, roughly 200 yards from the stage. It appeared to be a sniper-style attack, calculated, deliberate, and devastatingly precise. The gunman fired once, hit his target, and fled. Authorities later recovered a high-powered bolt-action rifle abandoned in a wooded area near campus. Surveillance footage shows a figure in dark clothing and tactical gear moving across campus before disappearing into a nearby neighborhood. Despite a massive manhunt, the suspect remains at large. The FBI, ATF, and Utah law enforcement are all involved in the case. The FBI has released images of a person of interest and is offering a $100,000 reward for information leading to the shooter's capture. 2 people were briefly detained, one on obstruction charges, but neither matched the suspect. Investigators are now analyzing prints, DNA, and ballistic evidence from the rifle and scouring hours of campus and neighborhood surveillance footage. For now, no clear motive has been announced, but many leaders suspect it was a politically motivated attack. Reactions poured in nationwide. Utah's governor called it an assassination and one of the darkest days in state history. Former President Donald Trump praised Kirk as great and legendary, while politicians across the spectrum condemned the killing. Even critics who had opposed Kirk's politics voiced shock, agreeing no one should be murdered for their beliefs. On campus, Utah Valley University shut down classes and offered counseling to students. For those who witnessed the killing, the trauma lingers. Charlie Kirk's rise to influence makes this tragedy even more striking. From launching Turning Point USA as a teenager to building it into one of America's most powerful conservative youth movements, his career was defined by energy, controversy, and an ability to command attention. Supporters loved his fiery defense of conservative values. Critics accused him of deepening political division. Either way, he was impossible to ignore. And now, at just 31, his voice was silenced by a single bullet. The assassination raises urgent questions. How did a sniper manage to access a rooftop undetected? Was the attack meticulously planned or opportunistic? Was Kirk specifically targeted for his politics, or was there another motive? With the shooter still on the loose, fear of another attack weighs heavily. The killing is already being compared to political tragedies of the past. But Kirk's death feels unique because of where it happened, on a college campus, in front of thousands of young people, during what was supposed to be an open debate. Security experts warn it could mark a turning point for public events, forcing politicians and activists alike to rethink safety in open spaces. For those present that day, the memory is haunting. Charlie Kirk's story now ends in tragedy. A young leader, an influential activist, and a polarizing figure gone at 31. His life was dedicated to sparking debate. His death has now sparked a national reckoning.